Hi, everyone. This is Polly Trailer with Komprise, and welcome to Data on the Move. And today I have with me Krishna Subramanian, our CRO and co-founder. Hi, Krishna. How are you?
Hi, Polly. Yeah, trying to stay cool.
Yeah, it's hard. It's been tough this summer in North America, for sure. Okay, wonderful. So we're here today to talk about our 2024 State of Unstructured Data Management Survey and Report. This is our fourth year of doing the survey, and we send this out through a third party to IT directors and above at enterprises of 1,000 employees and higher. And so our initial push was to understand more about our market, but over the years, we have seen the survey evolve. It's been really exciting to understand the data challenges that companies have, how much they spend on storage, how much data they have, as well as what their challenges are and their AI plans now that we're getting deeper into the AI era. So, Krishna, I would love to talk about the highlights of our survey. We found that in terms of data storage priorities, the number one priority is cost optimization, followed by preparing for AI. Now, last year, those numbers were flipped a little bit. So it's interesting to see that a little higher focus on cost management. And we also found that only 30% of organizations will have a distinct budget for AI. So I would love for you to comment on that and what you think this all means for IT organizations.
Yeah, it's interesting, Polly. As you said, I think this might be our third or fourth year we're running this survey, and it's always useful to see trends across years. And one trend that has been continuous is that each year people are managing more data than the year before. And we know this anecdotally, we know data growth is exploding, but it's good to see the numbers corroborate that. And IT budgets are staying pretty flat. Right? They're really not growing at the rate that data is growing. So everyone's trying to squeeze more with less. And I think that's become especially true in light of AI because most organizations recognize there's potential with AI that it could be useful to them, but they really don't know how to use it yet. They're still trying to figure all that out. So it's not surprising that cost optimization came up at the top, because if you think about it, you have to optimize costs just to squeeze in the data growth, but you also have to optimize costs to make room for initiatives like AI. And it's interesting, even if you look at the broader news cycle right now, a lot of the AI vendors are not reporting great revenues yet because people are still just playing with AI. They're not yet using it in production. And so, yeah, it's good. I think our survey corroborates what we're seeing in the broader market.
I think so too. And one of the other questions that we asked, what is this AI budget? What would it be spent on? So we asked participants, to talk about what are their plans for AI this year. And the biggest response was creating the infrastructure, creating AI ready infrastructure. So again, that maps with we're still getting ready for this. So what does that mean? I know there's a lot of different technologies you have to consider. So how would you describe that challenge or that initiative?
Yeah, when we think about infrastructure for AI, when you read the news, you would think you need to build GPU farms and you got to find a way to get NVIDIA chips and, the heavy iron, and that's AI infrastructure. And that's partly true. But, just like, how often do you build a power plant versus how often do you use electricity, right? Most of us use electricity. We don't build power plants. And the same is true with AI, right? There's going to be some people that are going to train AI models and need to build their own model, but most of us are going to be using AI for inferencing. And so the infrastructure, when you think about an enterprise, there are very, very few enterprises that are actually trying to train their own models from scratch and trying to get GPU time and things like that. Most organizations are thinking about, what do I need to do to get ready for my users to use AI? How do I get my data ready for AI? How do I get my data governance in place so that if people are sharing corporate data with AI, we know what they're sharing, we know it's the right thing, and we've also audited it because, this area is still new. And You could be violating privacy rules unknowingly. You could be violating compliance rules. So governance becomes extremely important. So it's all of that, preparing data for AI, data management, data governance, especially for inferencing and use, and preparing infrastructure for inferencing and use is the much bigger story. And we're just starting to talk about that.
Yeah, that's such a really good point. And it seems like the biggest challenge that any organization will have is getting that data ready. And in fact, you brought up data governance, which is part of that, which did come up as the top future capability for unstructured data management. And that was a much higher response than we had last year for that capability. So AI data governance is a big one. And what else in terms of getting your data ready for AI do you think enterprises need to be working on?
You know, the other thing, Polly, is so far when we've thought about using data and becoming data driven, we've really focused on structured data or data in spreadsheets or Parquet files, which are really tabular data, semi-structured data, because that's easier, right? It already has a structure and you can kind of query that structure. But when it comes to unstructured data, like images, video, audio, text files, documents, 90% of all the stuff we generate is unstructured, and there is no structure really that you can query. And so, how do you build an index of unstructured data? How do you build sort of a database of unstructured data? Because it's very different from structured data. I think that's a big question in the industry. Like, how do you create a global index of the files? And how do you mobilize unstructured data only when you absolutely need it? Because unstructured data is very big, can be billions of files, it can take months to move it anywhere. So the idea of data lakes does not work for unstructured data. You need data curation across different islands of data. So I think that whole infrastructure for data indexing and data curation and data mobilization for AI is going to become very important.
Mm-hmm. Right. And if you think about the fact that most enterprises have multiple petabytes of data, even 20, 30, 40, 50 in healthcare, and this data is now spread across all these different storage locations and cloud and on-prem and all these different file types, you can start to really paint a picture in your head of how complicated this is. So it's an exciting time. We would love it if you would check out our report. It was great to get your insights, Krishna. If you'd like to see the survey, you can go to our website under our resources section and click on reports, or you can go to our news section and click on press releases to get the snapshot of the data from our survey. And it was really fun to see what was popping this year. So thanks
Yeah,
again, Krishna.